name. And begging is a sort of helpless situation where we feel that we don't have anything. At least beggars that are sincere really need something. Sometimes it's a profession. But the reason that people give to beggars is they perceive that they don't have anything. And because I have something, I can give you something. And N-H-E Ashhauri Maya, Nashi Bharalagi. Harinam Mahamantra, Lao Tumi Magi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings in his song Jeev Jago, it's a famous song, that the process for getting the holy name is to beg. And at the end of the song, he says, Bhaktivinoda Prabhu, Bhaktivinoda Prabhu, Charane Podiya, She Harinama Mantra, Loi Lo Magiya. That I did it, he says. I fell at Lord Chaitanya's reddish lotus feet and I begged, please give me the holy name. And he said, because I did that, then Mahaprabhu gave me the holy name. And elsewhere in the bhajan Namgai, Gora Madhushvare, at the end, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that I give this advice. Bhaktivinoda Upadesh Ekbar Nam Rashe Matore. That one time, Ekbar, just one time try to get this taste of the holy name. So he says you should try for that. Because why? Jivana Hoilo Shesh. That Jivana Hoilo Shesh, the end could come at any time for your life. And you haven't had this yet. So if you leave the world without getting this taste, then your life is Jivanto Michehe, another bhajan. Jivanto Michehe, it's useless. You wasted your time without anurag, without getting any taste. So one of the Shastras, Padma Purana, says, the way to do this is to rise to a higher stage of chanting. In the beginning, Prabhupada says we're in the offensive stage. And then the Padma Purana says, Nama parada yuktana namanyeva harantyagam avishani paruktani namevartakarani cha. The way to rise above the offensive stage of chanting is to don't stop chanting. It's an interesting prescription, right? You're doing it offensively, so what am I supposed to do now? Don't stop chanting. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains why this is effective in the Harinam Chintamani. He says that there's a stage of chanting called Namabhas. And this is a kind of a sincerity of chanting. One's chanting, calling out to the Lord, innocently calling the holy name. And even if one's in the offensive stage, if one continues chanting, then it's likely that one will perhaps even inadvertently chant even one name with this sense of sincerity. And he says it's so valuable. It's more valuable than doing all the yagyas in the Vedas. It's more valuable than practicing every kind of yoga, meditation, sitting on a mountaintop, that anyone can imagine. One name chanted in sincerity. And that clears the way for one to come to the next stage, which Prabhupada describes as the clearing stage of chanting. And therefore, in the beginning, although Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, try to get taste, if we try to get taste, we may think, well, I can't get any taste, therefore I won't try at all. I must be so offensive. And therefore, the Padma Purana says, to get to that taste, you should be consistent. And that means that just decide ahead of time that I'm going to do this no matter what. And go on chanting, knowing that even if inadvertently I chant sincerely or I chant without offense, it'll be so effective that it will clear my path to the pure chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So consistency is king, and therefore Sankhya Purvaka means the prescribed number of rounds, as Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, the spiritual master of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, says, you should Finish your prescribed number of rounds every day, even if your life is in peril. It could be such a stressful time. It could be the SATs. It could be a flood, whatever it is. But finish your rounds, he says. Be consistent, because this is the ultimate goal of all the yoga practices that we're doing, is to chant purely. And you can only get there by being consistent. Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama, Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare 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 Rama,
Hare Ram, 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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare 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 Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram, Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna.
Ram,
Can you find the
Krishna,
audio?
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna.
Ram, 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 Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Ram.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Read
Rama, Hare
properly.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna,
Why don't you look it up in
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
It's
Hare
got to
Hare
come from
Krishna,
Sanskrit.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna,
Somehow
Hare
it's the wrong
Ram,
version.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram,
To stand firm.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare,
Simulated form.
Hare Ram, Ram, Hare
With
Hare.
together with Sikon.
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna,
From
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna,
firmness,
Hare Ram,
standing
Hare
together
Krishna,
directly.
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna,
Stop.
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare
Sanskrit.
Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna. Breaking news. So the word consistency comes from Sanskrit, which is tishtati. And we find it in various places like stane stita, shutikatan tanavan manobir. In the Bhagavatam, Brahma gives this suggested idea, this suggestion about how to advance in devotional service. He said, be consistent in hearing. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard that verse, he agreed with it. He said, yes, this is the process. Stane stita, wherever you are, wherever you're standing now, keep practicing devotional service. So there are 5 obstacles to being consistent. And by the way, the word consistent, which then it comes from Sanskrit into Latin, consistere, and it comes from tishtati, as I said. It is cognated in English with the word stand, to stand somewhere. Like to stand means that you have your feet firmly on the ground, right? So then, in the process of devotional service and chanting, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that there are 5 obstacles to being steady in your chanting or in your devotional service. And one of them is to be sleepy. Because as soon as you start chanting, then your mind says, this is really boring, I'm going to go to sleep. And the next one is to be indifferent. That although I'm chanting, I think that I'd rather do anything else but this. Because it's void of any taste for me. It's like eating cardboard or something. And then he says, then there's distraction. That I'm easily distracted. As soon as I start chanting, then I jump to something else and I think, oh, let me look at this, let me look at that. I have to go shopping on Amazon. And then there's 2 others that have to do with the way that my senses and my mind are conditioned from previous associations so that they're constantly disturbing me. So he says, when you've overcome these 5 obstacles, then you can be fully consistent. And that's a process, that's a stage that is called nishta, which comes from the word stand, which is cognate with the word consistent, consistere from Latin. So in the beginning, we're supposed to become, we're supposed to try for consistency and come to this place called nishta, where we can stand on our own 2 feet and not be pushed around by the senses or distracted by anything else and continue chanting. And the stage where we're fighting to do that is called anarta nivriti. That there's these obstacles are swimming around. We're swimming around with the obstacles, and we're trying to. Maybe it's like a little game we could make, where you get around all the obstacles to come to the place of being very steady in devotional service. Just take a couple reflections. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. I really like the point of, fell at Lord Chaitanya's feet and beg. I was trying then, it was really powerful. I was praying that your mercy came on most fallen, and I'm one of them. Please help me. I also want to chant that one pure name. And I could attentively chant. I saw the difference in my chanting. So thank you so much. And I have one question where, what would it be like to chant that one name with sincerity? What will be the result? And how it is different from other names I'm chanting?
In general, one of the ways that we can tell that we're coming to Nishta is that we're interested in chanting the holy name of the Lord. We're driven to want to do it more. And also, we don't feel like stopping when we're chanting. When we're fully in anarta nivriti, or in the offensive state of chanting, there's a way in which I'm calculating how long is this going to go on for, and when can I stop? And if someone comes over and says, "Oh, by the way," then immediately, yeah. Whereas when I'm feeling this nishta, or I have a standing in chanting the holy name of the Lord, that I don't want to be bothered. Actually, I go out of my way to make sure my eyes are closed so nobody comes up. I'm actually trying to stay in that chanting. So that's one of the first signs is that we have that impetus. And a good place to meditate on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to take shelter of him and ask for the holy name, is Imlital. And last year, or was it this year, we went there when we were in Vrindavan with our group of devotees. Imlital is along the Vrindavan Parikram path, and there's a shrine there. There's a tamarind tree. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Vrindavan, every day he would walk to that place, because it's a place of pastimes for Radha and Krishna. And he would sit down under the Imlital tree early in the morning, and he would chant Japa on his beads till late in the morning. So it's a place where you can meditate on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Imagine if you were able to go there just before the sunrise and offer your Dandavat obeisances, if you can dare imagine such a thing, and then in the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, beg him for the holy name. We can do that mentally. Any other thoughts? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So as you were mentioning about the obstacles, I was reflecting that when we give too much importance to ourselves, that's when these obstacles become very prominent. That whether it be feeling sleepy, or whether it be feeling indifferent to the name. And when oneself is not prominently in the picture, only the holy name is in the picture. And when all we see is the holy name, then we get so captivated that we don't have time or bandwidth for the other anarthas. So that is one thing that was going in my mind when you were mentioning.
Yeah, Prabhupada writes in his commentary to 10th Canto, 13th chapter of the Bhagavatam, that if one is so absorbed in Krishna consciousness that they cannot think, they don't have time to think of their own maintenance, he said, then Krishna fully supports such a devotee. And the devotee is fully absorbed in chanting and realizing that Krishna is supporting me, doesn't need to distract his attention and think, oh, I have to sustain my life. What's more, it's something that Mahaprabhu said, Durdaivam idrisham ihajani anuragaha. Anuragaha means I don't have any anurag for chanting, which means I don't have any taste for it. So I'm very unfortunate. I'm Durdaivam, and pursuant to what you were just saying, the solution, he said, is to remember how insignificant I am and put myself in a humble position. And I'm lower than a blade of grass, more humble than a tree, and so forth. Anything from this side?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranams. So the one point that that caught my attention is that one drop of taste that you mentioned, because sometimes people ask like, what is it that we take to the next life? But it is this taste that we acquire in this life is what we'll take to the next. And when new children are born, we could see that how some children carry the taste in their heart. So that's really sweet, and that gives us so much confidence that we don't need to worry about like so many things that are happening. All we need is the taste for that holy meal. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for that point. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Gandharvika Radha Devi Dasi. Now, having seen you this morning, we feel whole again. It's not the same
It's
without.
all because of all of your prayers. I'm able to be in this meeting, and I'm every day like a chakoro bird, want to be in that first row again and hear the nectar from you. Thank you, Prabhu.
It's really profound what
Hare
you said.
Krishna.
That's again the admonition from Bhaktivinoda Thakur is try for this, because jivana hoilo shesh. Shesh means the end. So jivana means your life. Jivana hoilo shesh. At any minute, your life can be finished. Na bhaji le Rishikesh. And you didn't take the time yet to actually get a taste for worshipping Rishikesh, the Lord of the senses. He said, then, ek bar nam rashe matore. Just one time try to taste this thing. And if we can make that our goal in life, to develop that, it makes mathematical sense. Because yang vapi smaran bhavam. Krishna says at the end, when you leave this life, everything's going to be calculated according to your own taste. It's like what you want. And the time to do it is before they ask you to put down the number 2, to pick up a number 2 pencil and put away all your notes. That's the time of death. You know that? When you take a test, they go, that's it. Put away your cards, everything off the desk, shut off all the electronic devices, pick up a number 2 pencil, and that's it. Now it's just you and the paper. And at the time of death also, it's yang vapi smaran bhavam. All you have there is like, okay, everything you've done now, we're just going to test it. And that's the juncture. So take the time now to get the anurag, because that's what we carry with us to the next life. Thank you very much. Good to see you. From Coimbatore, I'm assuming. Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So we just have a few more minutes so we can finish up chanting. Hare Krishna. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to say one other thing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so appreciative or insistent, I could say, that devotees chant their rounds. That when he was traveling, Vrindavan Thakur says he wouldn't go to the house of anyone, stay at anyone's house when he was traveling. Means that they would feed him there and take care of him unless they were doing 64 rounds a day. So that was his standard. Unless you're doing your rounds consistently, for us, we've been given a dispensation, 16 minimum. But that was his appreciation that somebody who's actually following the standard. They were qualified. It was a qualified home for him to go to. So that's a good guideline if you want to attract Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You got to finish your rounds. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Ram, Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Ram.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
It properly.
Shri Harinam Prabhu
Ram
Ki
Ram,
Jai,
Hare
dear
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you so desire, please empower us to chant consistently every day our Japa of your holy names. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vanchka
Hare
Hare
Purushcha
Krishna.
Kripa
Krishna.
Sinabhevcha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Vaisesika.